Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep today into the future of driving, and this is especially important if you like European cars.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
In 2025,
Okay.
the EU is going to roll out much stricter CO2 emission limits.
Right.
And the fines, if companies don't meet the targets, are going to be huge GE.
Huge.
We're talking like 95 euros for every gram of CO2 over the limit.
Wow.
For every car a company sells.
Yeah.
That can add up really fast.
Yeah.
To help us understand all this and what it means for you and me as drivers. We have an expert with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. So let's jump right in. We have some source material here that lays it all out.
Right.
From January 1st, 2025, the average CO2 emissions allowed per kilometer
Okay.
for new cars drops to only 93.6 grams.
Okay.
That's a big change from the previous limit.
Yeah, it's a big jump, and it puts a lot of pressure on the car manufacturers.
What kind of pressure exactly?
I mean, think about it. They basically have to reinvent their whole product line in a very short time.
Yeah.
And it's a huge financial risk. Our source actually points out that Stellantis thinks they could be fined like 300 million euros
Wow.
for every percentage point they miss the target.
300 million per percentage point.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
That should make them want to go green.
Yeah, it's definitely a motivator.
But you know, the article also talks about this strategy called pooling.
Yeah.
What is that?
So basically, pooling lets companies that are having trouble meeting the targets to buy emission credits.
Oh, so they're buying credits.
Yeah, they can buy them from companies that are already doing well, like Tesla or Polestar.
Interesting. So kind of like a carbon offset, but just for car company.
Exactly. It's a way for the industry to balance things out.
But does that really solve the problem? Or does it just let some companies off the hook?
That's a good question.
Yep.
And our source actually presents both sides of the argument.
Yeah.
Some people say that pooling could help companies meet the rules without having to slash the prices of electric vehicles,
Yeah.
which would protect their profits, and let them keep investing in electric car development.
Okay, so it would give them some breathing room.
Right. But then you have the critics who say that it's just a loophole.
A loophole.
Yeah, they're saying it lets companies avoid having to actually reduce their own emissions.
Okay.
So it could actually slow down the transition to a more sustainable car industry.
So it could be a short-term fix, but maybe with some long-term consequences.
Exactly. It raises the question of whether pooling will help us get to a greener future, or if it will just keep the industry hooked on fossil fuels for longer.
It is something to think about. Now, another thing the source mentioned was selling electric cars at huge discounts.
Right.
Some car companies think that might be a better solution.
It's definitely an interesting idea.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it sounds tempting, but the article points out that it could backfire.
How so?
Well, think about it. If electric cars suddenly become the cheap option,
Right.
it could actually hurt the image of electric vehicles.
Yeah, people might think they're not as good.
Exactly. And it could make it harder for companies to invest in new technology.
That's a really interesting point. It's like a psychological barrier.
Yeah, if people think electric cars are just the budget option, it could slow down their adoption.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky situation for everyone involved.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. And it's not just the car companies. The European Commission, who set these regulations, are also under pressure.
Right.
They need to figure out a way to encourage people to switch to electric vehicles, but they can't make them too expensive for the average person.
Right. So there are a lot of factors at play here.
Absolutely.
We have strict new emission targets,
Right.
innovative solutions like pooling,
Yeah.
and the potential for big changes in how electric cars are marketed.
Right.
So what does all this mean for the everyday driver like you and me? I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, let's discuss that next time.
Sounds good.
We'll be back. Well, one thing is for sure, you might see the price of those gas-powered cars go up. Yeah, as the manufacturers try to figure out how to pay for meeting those stricter emission standards.
So even if we're not buying electric cars ourselves, we're still going to feel it.
Probably. And, speaking of electric cars,
Yeah.
their prices might actually go down as companies try to attract more buyers.
Oh, interesting.
But as we said earlier, if the discounts are too big, it could make electric vehicles look bad in the long run.
It's tough, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it makes you wonder about this pooling thing.
Yeah.
Like, what will happen in the long term if companies just keep buying their way out of these emission targets?
Right.
Will they even bother trying to come up with cleaner technologies?
So it's like you're giving them a shortcut instead of making them find a better way to get there.
Exactly.
And what about the environmental impact? I
right?
mean, is pooling really going to make a difference in emissions?
Yeah.
Or is just moving the problem around?
Well, that's where things get a bit complicated. The idea is that pooling helps the whole industry meet the targets,
Yep.
even if some companies don't quite make it on their own.
Right.
But some people say it's not a real solution
Yeah.
because it doesn't force those companies to actually clean up their act.
So it might look good on paper,
Yeah, might.
but some companies could just keep doing business as usual.
That's a possibility. And that's why transparency is so important.
Transparency.
Yeah, if we're going to buy into this whole system,
Right.
we need to know how it works
Uh,
and if it's really helping to create a greener future.
so transparency and accountability,
Yeah.
those are the big takeaways here.
Yeah.
But it's not just about keeping the car companies in check.
Right.
The European Commission has a big role to play, too.
Absolutely. They're the ones setting the rules,
Right.
and they have a difficult job.
Yeah.
They need to push for sustainability,
Okay.
but they also need to make sure that the changes aren't too expensive.
For the average person,
Yeah, for people like you and me, and for the economy in general.
it's like they're walking a tightrope.
It is a balancing act.
Too much pressure, and the industry might break.
Yeah.
Too little pressure, and we won't see any real progress.
Exactly.
It's a tricky situation.
It is complex. There are a lot of moving pieces, but one thing is clear. The decisions made in the next few years are going to have a huge impact on transportation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, besides electric cars, our source material mentions some other interesting developments,
Oh, yeah.
like circular economies
Right.
for batteries
Right.
and something called vehicle-to-grid technology.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about those?
Sure. So let's start with circular economies. The goal is to create a system for electric vehicle batteries
Okay.
where they're reused, repurposed, and eventually recycled.
So instead of just throwing them away, they could be used for other things.
Exactly. They can be used in homes and businesses for storing energy
Oh, wow.
or even to power smaller devices.
So it's like those batteries get a second life after they retire from the car.
Yeah, it's a great way to keep them out of landfills.
What about this vehicle-to-grid technology? What is that? So vehicle-to-grid, or V2G, lets electric vehicles not only take power from the grid,
Okay.
but also send power back.
Wait, so my car could actually become a mini power plant?
It sounds crazy, but it's actually happening. Think about a neighborhood with tons of electric vehicles plugged in at night.
Okay.
With V2G, they could act like a giant battery,
Oh, wow.
helping to stabilize the grid and even provide backup power when we need it most.
So we're not just using electricity, we could be making it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It completely changes how we think about cars and energy.
It sounds like we're about to see a big change in transportation.
Absolutely. This is a very exciting time to be following the automotive industry.
I agree. The innovations happening now could change the world.
They really could.
It's incredible. But it also makes you wonder how all this affects us as individuals.
Yeah.
What can we do to make sure we're part of this shift toward a greener future of transportation?
It's a big question.
It is.
And I guess we'll have to explore that next time.
Sounds good. Let's pick up this conversation in the next part.
Uh,
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
I think the biggest thing we can do is just try to stay informed, like we're doing right now.
Yeah,
The more we know about this stuff, the better choices we can make.
exactly.
Right.
Being an informed consumer is so important these days.
Yeah.
We can't just look at the price tag anymore.
Right.
We need to think about the long-term costs and benefits.
Right.
Like how fuel efficient is the car?
Yeah.
What's its carbon footprint?
Uh-huh.
How long will it last?
Yeah.
We need to be asking these questions.
It's like we need to become car detectives.
Uh-huh. I like that.
Right. We need to do our research.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask questions. When you're at the dealership,
Yeah.
ask about the emissions, the battery life, the recyclability.
Right.
The more we demand transparency from the car makers,
Uh-huh.
the more they'll have to prioritize sustainability.
It's about putting our money where our mouth is too right.
Absolutely.
Supporting the companies that are actually trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
Exactly. Every purchase we make is a vote for the kind of world we want to live in.
That's a great point. This whole conversation has really shown how everything is connected.
It is.
We've got the car companies trying to figure out these new rules,
Right.
consumers trying to make smart choices,
Yeah.
and policymakers trying to find that sweet spot between progress and affordability.
It's a complex system.
It is. But at the end of the day, we're all in this together.
We are. We need everyone to do their part.
Exactly.
The car makers need to be innovative.
Right.
Consumers need to be informed.
Mhm.
And policymakers need to create the right environment for sustainable transportation to succeed.
It really seems like we're on the edge of a major shift in the car industry.
We are.
What are you most excited about for the future?
Well, besides all the cool technology we talked about,
Yeah.
I think it would be amazing to see more sustainable materials used in car manufacturing.
Like what?
Well, imagine cars made from plant-based plastics or recycled materials. They could really reduce the environmental impact.
Cars that are grown, not built.
Ah,
Just like something out of a movie.
uh-huh. I know, right? And I'm also really interested in new battery technologies.
Yeah.
We're already seeing incredible progress with batteries.
Like what kind of progress?
Well, they're getting more energy dense,
Okay.
they charge faster,
Uh-huh.
and they last longer.
Wow.
Who knows, maybe one day we'll have electric cars that can go like 1,000 miles on one charge
Wow.
and recharge in just minutes.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, range anxiety would be a thing of the past.
That's for sure. It seems like the future of driving is electric efficient and maybe even a little bit futuristic.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. And it's a future I'm looking forward to.
Me too. It's been a fascinating deep dive into this whole world of European car makers and everything they're facing.
Yeah, it has.
Thanks so much for sharing your insights with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Remember, the future of transportation is in our hands. Let's stay informed, make good choices, and drive towards a greener future together.
Absolutely.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more insightful conversations about the things that matter most. Until next time, happy diving.